Hey there, Wanderers. We are back with the penultimate week scenario, a test of resolve, designed by community member and Discord mod Groyer. In this exciting week's challenge, he's crafted two uniquely challenging paths that will push you to the extreme as you take on the inimitable force known as the Scarlett Knight. Wandering through the lobby level, Mr. Freeman has given you directions to move on to the next area known as the car parks. He explained that going there is the next step on your journey to escaping the backrooms for good. As you turn a corner, you see an entryway into what looks like a parking deck. You are suddenly assailed with flashes of light and the sound of car horns going off in your ear. A figure with a long coat and a red scarf beckons you to follow, but you stumble over in your daze. As you look up, you aren't greeted by that coated figure, but by someone far more menacing, the Scarlett Knight. She stands in front of the door, blocking your way. In her hand, she holds a warped steel pipe that is worn with rust and held together with tape and gauze. She tosses it towards you, and it clatters towards the ground.
"Pick it up,"
she says, as she turns and closes the portal behind her.
"Earn the right to be free. Show that you can fight like he once did, and earn your freedom."
Instead of killing you where you stand, she vanishes. Only you and that tattered pipe are left in the buzzing corridor you've become so familiar with. For this week's challenge, you'll again have to abide by some deck building restrictions. You'll need one copy of Scarlett Knight, no more no less, as well as the car park portal for the exit in your deck. Also, depending on the path you choose to pursue, you'll find what other specifics are required. Path 1. Steel thyself. You grab the pipe and grit your teeth. If she wants proof that you can handle yourself, then she'll get it. The pipe reacts to your anger and glows warm in your hands, as if it recognizes your desire to fight. In some way, you're relishing the chance to let loose and bust the place up. You also remember Mr. Freeman mentioning the gem being used for other purposes beyond resonance with the golden stairs, and looking at the pipe you have an idea brewing in your head. In this path, you've chosen to follow the path of brutality, gripping hold of the accursed pipe and going wild. You'll need one hex pipe from the car park level set, though if you're lacking that particular card, you can instead use a mirror piece in its place, which will function exactly like the hex pipe, dealing 1 damage and hurting you for 1 sanity loss each round. You'll also need to choose one ancient entity that isn't the ancient conductor to place into your deck. One unique facet for this path is that the hex pipe will actually start in your inventory and can't be lost no matter what. If you're forced to discard it for any reason, you must pay the 3 sanity in order to return it to your inventory, rather than the usual 6 it would cost. 4 challenges await you here. The first is Ravenous Hex, which says that by spending a Painite gem, you're able to level up the hex pipe with a permanent +1 damage boost when you use it against an engaged entity, though it also deals +1 sanity damage as well. You may do this up to 3 times max. Each level it attains grants you 1 point towards this challenge. The second challenge is Ancestral Bloodright, which requires you to defeat an ancient entity with only the hex pipe. Once you defeat the entity, you'll shuffle the Scarlett Knight into the pool pile. I Found the Law is the third challenge and says you must defeat the Scarlett Knight with only the hex pipe. It craves the blood of those powerful entities, and once you've toppled her, the car park portal will get shuffled into your deck in hand. Finally, the Heat of Battle challenge grants any entity being damaged by the hex pipe +1 deck in hand damage each round. The hex pipe is both a powerful ally in this path, but also causes all entities to become more dangerous. Path 2. In the Shadow of the Night. You stand and leave the pipe on the floor, the malicious aura oozing from its worn frame. Hopelessness sets in as you dread having to face Scarlett, when her words linger in your head. She mentions someone else with great strength who she may have seen as an equal, or perhaps a rival. You remember Mr. Freeman saying the hopper devices have a second function, to serve as an emergency beacon to call forth a friend of great strength, and that's your ticket out of this mess. It doesn't take much to figure out who they're talking about, and you set off to find him. Path 2 showcases the other side of the coin, where you leave the malicious pipe where you found it and instead pursue a more righteous path. This time around, you'll need to track down the hopper device and activate it in order to summon forth the Crimson Knight, the only ally who has the strength to properly deal with this terrifying Scarlet Peer. Again, you'll need to consider a few deck building restrictions as you go down this path. Firstly, you must have one copy of the Crimson Knight and the hopper device in your deck. Before the start of the game, you'll set the Crimson Knight and Scarlet Knight to the side. During the game, if you deck out and Scarlet Knight is either in play or in the discard pile, you'll place her out of play instead of shuffling her back into the pool pile. Here are the challenges for this path. The Beacon is Lit, the first challenge, changes how the hopper device works. Once activated, it will allow you to shuffle the Crimson Knight into the pool pile, helping you get closer to allying with him in this desperate struggle to survive against the powerful entities present in this scenario. The second challenge, Holding Your Own, It requires you to defeat up to 3 gem-eligible entities with no companions for 1 point per entity defeated. The third challenge brings the difficulty up to another level. Stand and Deliver says that while the car park portal is active on the field of play, you'll place the Scarlett Knight on top of it. You'll be unable to engage her though unless you have the Crimson Knight as your companion, as only he has the strength to take her on. Once he's with you and you're engaged with the Scarlett Knight, you can use Crimson like an attack item to keep her at bay, defeating her and discarding them both. With her out of the way, Run I'll Handle This says that you'll be able to escape through the car park portal for the final challenge. Either path you take presents its own unique obstacles. Will you deal with the corruption of the Hex Pipe and its powerful allure? Or will you team up with Crimson for a final battle against the Scarlett Knight? The choice is yours, Wanderer, and no matter which way you go, the car park awaits. Record your journey and share your escape in the weekly challenges submission thread. We look forward to hearing about your escape. Stay safe and keep on running, Wanderers.